Edmonton. I live in Dundee. I am 42.
Hi, I'm Phoebe and I'm from Birmingham. I work for Sign Solutions as their social media and marketing manager.
Hi, I'm Steve Council. I'm married with 4 sons and I live mainly on a narrowboat.
I'm Emma. I have 3 children who are 16, 15 and 9. I work in childcare.
I discovered that I had an acoustic neuroma tumour, which sits on my hearing and balance nerves on my left ear.
I was born profoundly deaf and I wear a cochlear implant in this ear.
I have what's called the eustachian tube dysfunction.
I have been deaf pretty much on and off all my life,
which has left me with very little hearing in my left ear and constant tinnitus.
I've had grommets and T-tubes put in.
I have blockage in the thing that allows you to hear, that resonates sound.
Best thing that they could do, because I was having so many problems, was they took away my inner ear.
I rely on lip reading and clear speech and sometimes sign language, because that is my first language.
So if anybody talks to me from this direction, I cannot hear them at all.
I struggle to understand what people are saying when they're wearing a mask.
During lockdown, it's been a bit of a struggle because everyone has got to wear face coverings, and it is really hard because I've spent my entire life relying on lip reading.
So during lockdown, I didn't want to go to the shops, and it took me a little bit of time to realise how heavily I relied upon lip reading. I lip read. I didn't realise I lip read, but I do lip read. I like to be able to face somebody. I like to be able to see what their mouth is doing. I find it very, very difficult to hold any sort of conversation in a busy environment, because if there's background noise, I can't hear anybody.
My worst experience probably would be going into a lot of stores or cafes.
I struggle quite significantly with sound direction because of the imbalance in my hearing volume. But during lockdown, the addition of face masks has highlighted the fact that I rely quite a lot on lip reading.
And I ask for a drink that I want, and they say something back, and they've kept the masks on. And I always say that I'm deaf. So I'll point to my ear and I'll say, I'm deaf, I need to lip read because I'm wearing my mask as well. And then they just stare at me, and it's like they continue talking and they think they're not allowed to take their mask off.
My worst experience during lockdown was in a DIY shop. I was entering the store, I had my mask on, and there was somebody greeting customers. But they were the 2 meters away from me, and as I entered the shop, I sent somebody on my right, and they were speaking to me. I could hear that they were speaking to me, and they were sort of gesturing. I just couldn't hear what they were saying. Just naturally, I stepped towards them to do this, to hear them, and they took 2 steps back away from me. That was seriously disconcerting for me because I'd never experienced that. Somebody reviling from you. It's like, oh no, keep away. That experience has stayed with me, and it's affected me in ways I don't know yet, I think.
I would love it if people could just be patient. So when a deaf person tells you, or when I tell you to have clear speech and I'll rely on your lip reading, could you just take your mask down and maybe take a step back, like if you need to have that distance, just be patient. That's the only thing I want you to do.
It would be helpful if people had more awareness, if they know that you have hearing issues, to either pull their mask down, take a step back, so that you can have a conversation with them and understand what they're saying and communicate with them more easily.
What I'd like people to do is understand when people can't hear and they rely on lip reading, that they're allowed to remove their mask, so long as there's that social distance, if you like.
I'd like people to have more understanding. I think if we say we're deaf, we really are deaf. We're not just saying we're hard of hearing. I can hear perfectly well with this ear, but if I'm in a situation where there is lots of background noise and lots of people talking, I can't hear.
To be kinder to people that can't hear or that have some other disability. And I've noticed there's a lack of that kindness. So I'd like people to be kinder.